On the day of 520, a classmate sent a private message. I said something like this to me, let's not talk about what he said. How many expressions were added at the end? Caught me off guard. What does this mean? But after I investigated deeply, only to find out that this fucking man turned out to be a man. As for the Leshita P50, he said, I happen to have a free prostitution here. But because of various performance disadvantages, it makes me feel more and more that this thing is an IQ tax. So I haven't made a video. Now that someone has asked, I have studied it again. So let's take a look at this lifespan today. The price of this handle is $228. For third-party handles, there must be something. At least it can't be too mediocre. The Leshita P50 is a game mainly aimed at Switch players. The NS button arrangement adopted by the launched handle. In addition to supporting the NS platform, it is also possible to connect to a PC. The Morandi color scheme of the P50 series is still very pleasing. For example, the one I have at hand is a very sexy chicken Lao Tzu and the opener. That classmate is very suitable for the occasion, and the appearance is really good. The dead shell material is made of ABS material. The gap control point of the whole with a non-slip pattern handle on the back is very good. The traditional appearance of the program is not evaluated, with a full score of 10. Students can put their appearance points on the public screen. Lying in the trough. I seem to have already evaluated it. In terms of cases, except for the 2 extensions, the rest of the cases are all conductive delivery plans. The feel of conductive adhesive anti-madness washing ABXY is much softer than the NS Pro handle. Whether you like soft or hard varies from person to person. The 2 expansion buttons on the back and the micro button are used. During use, there is no risk of accidental touch in the position of the back key. However, there are certain requirements for the flexibility of the fingers. Like those who exercise regularly, there should be no big problem. The touch of the cross keys is also very soft, but the overall is relatively flat. There will be a case of linking. However, in terms of overall grip, the performance of summoning and collecting cakes is still good. It is still a great improvement compared to his previous generation. However, this flight plan is a bit strange and it is still a linear flight. You dare to believe that I will show you how awesome this flight is for a while. In terms of software, I was very surprised to make the P50. After the player can download the official app through the mobile phone and connect the controller via Bluetooth, you can customize the settings. What I didn't expect was that there are many game presets that you can use directly. The presets of games such as Zelda Monster Hunting have been sorted out. After the video is uploaded, you can start drawing directly, which is really enjoyable. For someone like me who has never used accessibility, I can't control my impulses. If it doesn't fit, you can also program it yourself. The P50 also supports joystick programming, which is a small highlight. In addition to this, you can customize the key mapping. Joystick. Adjust the effective range and vibration intensity. Unfortunately, the app cannot mediate the depth of the center point of the waist pole. For the NS platform, the standard one-click Wake Up NS, NFC, basic functions such as the 6-week to loci. In addition, features such as LiNFA and key mapping that NS Pro do not have are also supported. From this point of view, the Leshita P50 still has many advantages over the NS Pro handle. Next, let's look at the tuning of the joystick. I won't comment on it. You can see for yourself. This level of tuning can be said to be a complete farewell to FPS and racing games. And this trigger is even more interesting. At first I thought it was a non-linear trigger. After all, it was built so short. But after testing it, I realized that I was careless. This turned out to be a linear trigger. You can believe it. The process of this linear trigger. Only the last 10% is valid. The front large piece is a gift. So my suggestion is that you just take it as it is. A long non-linear trigger bar is built. After all, PC support for this controller. Basically, it is a bonus function. Therefore, the positioning of this handle is a replacement for the NS Pro handle. But you should train and train anyway. This depth is really excessive. Fortunately, there are not so many car guns in NS. Finally, let's simply disassemble the machine. The motor part adopts a very common rotor, and the motor is connected to the PCB plate. The socket scheme is adopted. This is a good review. In the battery section with small battery compartment protection. However, the part of the battery that comes into contact with the motherboard is protected by sponge glue. In the selection of joysticks, Leshita still uses the domestic Puyao. Although the brand's joystick is not as good as the Alps, but it is still very good in China. After all, it was previously supplied to Sony's PS5 controller. Then the PS5 joystick overturned. Then Sony stopped working with them. And then there has been no resumption of cooperation. The PCB version is relatively thin. Only a little bit, and 1mm is still easy to deform. However, compared with the workmanship of this P50, previously there was a lot of progress in the Tiger, and there was no welding with some needle corners. The moving button is dismantled with pressure conductive glue. We can see more intuitively why the key journey in the first half of the journey did not start. See this? I believe that all students already know very well about the workmanship of this handle. There are big problems in the use of materials and joystick tuning. So for those hardcore players or students who mainly play PC, I highly discourage it. But if you mainly play the NS platform, then this handle still has a lot of highlights. Because most games on the NS platform do not have high requirements for joysticks. Even the old man with the NS Pro handle has added a relatively large dead zone to its central area. Therefore, the problem of the joystick part can be ignored a lot. But the most important thing is that this game preset is really fragrant. Can help you save a lot of energy. If you think the price of NS Pro is too high, then this handle will be a good lower belt pickup. Of course, his appearance also makes him favored by girls. You can also buy it and give it to your girlfriend. If it's a girlfriend,